Hello, everybody. I'm actually on time. I'm on time for the first time in a long time. I don't think I've ever been so on time as I am now. What the hell have I got going here in the back? I got that. So, one second. I just want to set something up. Get this out of the gut. That does not need to be there. That's obscene. You put that over here. Stand up and do yourself a favor, don't bitch. So, I know it's early for me. Usually I'm on at about 8 o'clock, and tonight I decided to go on early because the weather's so just impactful. I guess if you can hear the sound of the raindrops on the roof, that's the torrential rain we've got going here, and it'll probably get louder as the rain gets harder. I see. I'm looking at the setup. Yeah, we don't. God damn. Hold on a second. There we go. Nothing like having a little fire. That looks so much better, doesn't it now? I know I got the haunted house tours, which brings me to my first commentary. 3 weeks from tomorrow night and Saturday night, which is March 7th and 8th, American Ghost Walks has got their events here, 2 ghost investigations here. Now, I want you to be able to, you can click to get tickets. They're $99 for 4. They say it's 4 hours. I usually go till 1 in the morning, so it's really 5 hours. But in any event, I want to make a shout out to them and thanking them for doing their events here. And like I said, the link is in the description of tonight's show. You can click on it, get yourself some tickets. It will be fun, I promise you. Excuse me. Hey, Concerned Planet, how are you? Hi, Kim. Hi, Sarah. Hey, PJ. Hi, Audra. I know, like I said, I'm early tonight. I wanted to be on because it's so bad when I go on at 8 o'clock, and then the next day I get messages saying, I missed it. So I figured, all right, what if I go early tonight? Let's make some people happy. The weather's been horrendous. I actually want to share with you guys some video that I shot earlier this afternoon. It was crazy. Here, let me go to this. Let me go to replay. I'll bring this up to you guys so you'll be able to see it. It was nutso. It was so nuts. It was crazy nuts. Let me see if I can turn this side. Hi there. Hello again. It's your favorite David Oman. It is February 13th. Not Friday, but Thursday. I wanted to show you guys what the hell it looks like up here. I am not making this up. This is not a filter. This is literally looking from my balcony across the canyon, which you can't even see. And this gives you an idea. This is looking down on the street below, which you can see, but you can't even see the houses across the canyon. I'm in the thick of it. And I mean the thick of it. Look at this. It's raining, and that's where downtown would be, but it's so miserable up here. Oh my good God, that's the neighbor's house next door. That's looking down the canyon. You can see down below, it's not so bad, but at this height, we're in the thick of it. You can just barely make out the silhouette of the property across the canyon, the trees. I just had to share this with you because I was blown away, and I've never seen it out like this ever. Hey, by the way, in 3 weeks, on the 7th and 8th of March, American Ghost Walks is having their investigation here at the house. You can come and join and see the house. Go to their website. I'll give you the link below. But here's the other balcony. Look how thick it is. It's incredible. You guys all have yourself a good time, and this is what it's like to live in the clouds. And I mean the clouds. Bye. Oh, shut up. I got it. Oh, come on. So I also knocked over my favorite book. Luckily, I didn't knock over the, whatchamacallits here. God damn. Let me see if I can do just a simple toe adjustment. Is that a little bit better there on the height? Yes, that's a little bit better. So, as I was saying, I wrote Hi, low key, low Q, what was it? Low cuts. Boy. Well, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, sir. I didn't mean to do that to you. I figured I'd go on early tonight because it is the greatest, worst weather you've ever seen up here. We have the torrential rains, and it's just, it's perfect. It's perfect for a show, I figured. And no, I haven't talked to Scott. I mean, I spoke to Scott last night. He was busy doing stuff, getting ready for his stuff that he's got going on here. I'm still waiting to figure out what day he'll come over, if he can come over here. Um, in any event, I figured because it's Valentine's Eve, I'd read a good story from the book. No, I haven't even figured it. The dumbest thing is I didn't think of, gee, let's find a Valentine's horror story that I could read. No, I was thinking of reading The Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe, but I don't happen to have any of Poe's books here. Yeah, the weather up here has it's been crazy of late. What's this crap? Let's see. The Ghost with the Bloody Fingers. I want something really, really, really Valentine-esque. Kim, what are you referring to? The video I just showed you guys? Yeah, that unfortunately was on my phone. I didn't show it to you on a larger screen. I'm sorry. I'm looking. Sources. Oh God. This is great. This is great. The unfortunate part of it is it's broken up to three. Each book is actually included, so the beginning, the middle, and the end with all the other stuff is there. We lost the fire. Let's see what we got. Who has? I want something that's really Valentine-esque because it's got to be something that's. No, this isn't. No. What? Hi, Kalena. Ooh. All right, here's one called The Bride. Again, tonight I'm only going to be on for an hour, not more than that. That's it. I don't want to bore you guys. Yeah, there's a bucket over there for the drips from the ceiling, but that's it. There's nobody here. That's the sound of the motor you can hear of the fish tank. Well, Ghost Blimes, I'm very, very happy that you came home. I myself have not experienced anything of any of my pets getting out of the house, luckily, because they wouldn't survive. We have coyotes, bobcats, mountain lions, foxes, large rats, and I don't think that she would do well in that environment. So I'm very happy to hear that. Hi, Keith. How are you? I'm really happy for you. It makes a hell of a difference getting your cat back. It sucks when we get out of the house and I have a meltdown. In any event, in honor of Valentine's Day, where the hell that voice come from? In honor of Valentine's Day, I'm going to read for you from the book of More Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. And this one's called The Bride. Thanks, Dave. Nice to be seen, too. Well, I'm sorry. Very, very sorry for you, Kim. This is obviously, just the story that I found that was most intriguing that had to do with Valentine's themes.
The minister's daughter had just gotten married. After the wedding ceremony, there was a great feast, with music and dancing and contests and games, even old children's games. When they got to playing hide and seek, the bride decided to hide in her grandfather's trunk up in the attic. They'll never find me here, she thought. As she was climbing into the trunk, the lid came down and cracked her on the head, and she fell unconscious inside. The lid slammed shut and locked. That was Donna, by the way. Sorry to segue out. I just don't want it to be attributed to a ghost when it's not. No one will ever know how long she called for help or how hard she struggled to free herself from that tomb. Everyone in the village searched for her, and they looked almost everywhere, but no one thought of looking in the trunk. After a week, her brand new bride, groom, and all the others gave up and lost. Years later, a maid went into the attic looking for something she needed. Maybe it's in the trunk, she thought. She opened it and screamed. There lay the missing bride in her wedding dress. But by then, she was only a skeleton. Ooh, that's kind of tough. Rings on her fingers. Daisy Clark had been in a coma for more than a month when a doctor said that she had finally died. She was buried on a cool summer day in a small cemetery about a mile from her home. May she always rest in such peace, her husband said. But she didn't. Late that night, a grave robber with a shovel and lantern began to dig her up. Since the ground was still soft, he quickly reached the coffin and got it open. His hunch was right. Daisy had been buried wearing two valuable rings, a wedding ring with a diamond in it, and a ring with a ruby that glowed as if it was still alive. The thief got down on his knees and reached into the coffin to get the rings, but they were stuck on fast on her fingers. So he decided the only way to get them off was to cut off her fingers with a knife. But when he cut into the finger with the wedding ring, it began to bleed, and Daisy Clark began to stir. Suddenly, she sat up. Terrified, the thief scrambled to his feet and accidentally kicked over the lantern, and the light went out. He could hear Daisy climb out of her grave. As she moved past him in the dark, he stood there frozen with fear, clutching a knife in his hand. When Daisy saw him, she pulled her shroud around her and asked, "Who are you?" When the grave robber heard the corpse speak, he ran. Daisy struggled her shoulders and walked on and never once looked back. But in his fear and confusion, the thief fled in the wrong direction. He pitched headlong into her grave, fell on the knife and stabbed himself while Daisy walked home. The thief bled to death. I think it should end, the thief bled to death. Interesting, isn't it? More ironic than anything, I think. You like that? Some good stuff there, huh? Hi, ghost of a rock star. Well, all right. So if you're a ghost of a rock star, might I inquire which rock star? I mean, there's so many of them. My favorite would be Jim Morrison, of course. But of course, there's Buddy Holly, Elvis Presley, Mysterious. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I want something more, Halloweenish. I want something more Valentine's Day-ish. No. Hey, Rent Free. You're the only one that comes across with that gosh darn wonderful gosh darn sign of I'm all in caps. You know, that's a telltale sign that you're just a hack. Rent free. No, you're not rent free. You're rent P. Jim Morrison was very intelligent. He wasn't stupid by any stretch of the imagination. Rent free, saying, "Hey Joe." Hey Ren, how are you? Rude doors. Yes, it's that same stupid son of a bitch. Let's just hide user on this channel. Bye, rent free. You're doggy D. You're done. You're out of here as usual. Always got something not to say that no one cares about anyway. Well, like I was saying, I can always smell a bad person in the background when they're coming in and chiming backwards. God, that kills me. We have no fire. It's getting chilly here. Hey, Blonde. Hey, Rhonda. All right, let's find something else. Come on, something good. The last laugh. So, like I said, I'm sponsored tonight by the wonderful people at American Ghost Walks. Excuse me. I need a better one. I need another book. I need another source. No, that's just not going to do it. Morrison loved alcohol, she said, Kim Sullivan says. Kim, you know anything about literary giants? A great many of the authors from the 19th century did cocaine, did opium, a lot of them. So let's not worry about Jim Morrison, he liked alcohol. You know, Ernest Hemingway liked alcohol as well. Didn't stop him from writing some tremendous, wonderfully good stories, however he did kill himself. Hey, Sandy. Dean, yes. I think we found another game to play, Ghostbusters. What one's the game? Kim, he also loved drugs. He smoked pot, he took pills, he ate peyote, he did mushrooms. So that was, you know, Cochise, yum. Cochise, you know, you're writing there in all caps. You know, that just smells of herrings that I don't want to touch, if that makes any sense. My house? Yes. Ah, Ghost, you're right. It is that many times we can catch a spammer. They're so gosh darn easy to see. It's like, why not just hoist a flag on your flagpole and say, I'm an asshole? I mean, it's like all caps. I'm like going, whatever, you think I'm blind? It's like, take your caps lock off unless you're somewhere else and you're trying to bullshit here. So I want a better story for Valentine's Day. I want a really good story to share with you guys. There's got to be something better. What Brand's cracking it thinks that's funny. Ken Sylvan. But Manzarek had to interrupt. Manzarek was the greatest cover for Jim. He gave Jim a lot of space, and when Jim wasn't able to sing because he was so drunk, he'd cover his voice would double for Jim Morrison's while he was up there, seriously. But seriously, I mean, let's see, who wrote Alice in Wonderland was written by Lewis Carroll. Lewis Carroll did cocaine. So did, what's his face? The man who wrote Sherlock Holmes. He was addicted to cocaine. What's his name? Shit. Arthur Conan Doyle. And opium. I mean, you got to remember, in those days, cocaine was legal, and so was morphine, and so was heroin, and so was a lot of the drugs that we now, are illegal. If there's any help to you on Valentine's Day in my book, read Shakespeare's Romeo. No thanks. No Shakespeare's. No Romeo and Juliet. No. Yeah, well, he did get drunk. I mean, there are very few concerts that the Doors had that Morrison was able to perform. There were a few that were disastrous because he was so bummed out of his skull. But look, that was. I can't make amends for his behaviors. There's nothing to say it was who he was, and that's what happened. But you know, that's unfortunately the way things go in some people's lives. They fall into the depths of despair and they lose themselves, and it sucks. Let's be honest. You know, alcohol is a drug, and heroin, morphine, LSD, magic mushrooms, peyote are all means of escape in one form or another. No matter how they are perceived by society, present day, at one point they were all legal. And there was opium and morphine and heroin in much of the medicine that was literally the, what was it called? The snake oil medicine that was being sold in that era. So, you know, that's unfortunate. But again, it's more a desire of man to want to escape the mundane and their own lives by basically using these narcotic agents to facilitate a state of higher, you know, I guess you'd say a higher, you know, intensity in their minds. So it's unfortunate some people have that type of an attitude of behavior. Who's the couple celebrating Valentine's Day? Oh, that? Well, that is Buffalo Bill Cody, and that's his wife. I forgot her name. Yes, Ben, Morrison was absolutely a legend in his own time, and still is. Well, if this helps you Valentine's Day, I can't believe, whoops, I can't, what the fuck? I can't believe you're live. Sorry, Marsha, you can always turn me off and I don't have to be live right now, you can watch me later. There were new rehabs. Kim, rehabs, generally, there were rehabs. There were rehabilitation places for people that were doing heroin. So that's not true. There were rehab places, but he didn't want to. And AA was around for a long time. PDX, long time no see. PDX, how come you got everything in caps? Do me a favor, take your caps lock off, please. Yeah, get out of pain, true. In these days, it wasn't doing some sort of drug or sugar. In those days, who wasn't doing some sort of drug or several? Yeah, that's true too. I mean, you know, who to judge? Post-traffic would be for different times. Yes, Ren, exactly. Oh no, that's okay, Rhonda. The fires were far enough away from me. Do you and Shaggy use the same barber? I haven't had a haircut in a year. Just because I don't want to get one. That's probably why I definitely need to get one. Coca-Cola started out. Well, Coca-Cola started out with cocaine in it. It had 3 grams of cocaine in it. So that's where your rush came from. They had to change it to sugar in 19 teens because it was illegal. I like my gummies now. Well, good for you, Marshall. I'm glad to hear that. There were rehab centers. That's what AA was. AA didn't start in the 1950s. It was around since the 1920s. Oh, that's Salvador Dali. Salvador Dali did, well, I don't want to get into what Salvador did, but he enjoyed things. Marcia, if my skeletons are talking to you, cut back on your gosh darn intake of the gummies. You had enough. Trust me. You sound like you're having an acid trip. Mark is from business development. Who's Mark? Business development. Is that Mark the policey? Urban me now. David, I want booze. I haven't had a haircut in years. Well, that's funny, PJ. Polite. So Mr. Politi, it's very good to see you tonight. Um, God, I just popped into this one, which I've never read before. Such things. Oh, it's a long one. Good. Here we have one that's going to last a little more than 3 minutes. Yeah, Marcia, I said cut down on the intake of those gummy bears, the medicated gummy bears, because you've had too many. Forget the alcohol. Thanks, Dean. I need to get a haircut. It's a little long. Dry house. I haven't seen a jacket since You have a problem with my herringbone jacket? What's the matter? You have a problem with this? Let me tell you something. I don't give a rat's ass. If you don't like this, all right, fine. Let me just see what the hell other jackets I've got. Jesus Christ, I'm getting hacked from the jackets. Spirits, entertain them. I gotta go get the jacket now. Somebody's telling me to take my jacket. Shut it. Oh, ooh, oh, ooh. Nice. I like that jacket. Could you get something to clean this up? Come on, give me the jacket. Jacket. All right, 2 ways to hang it on the hanger. Yeah, you're right, I am. 2 ways to hang it on the hanger. Oh, let's go with this jacket. Here we go. All right, I'll be right there. Give me 2 seconds. My business consultant is giving me shit on my jacket. Come on. There we go. There we go. Nice new jacket then. There, how's that? But once before that acid was acknowledged, it was Timothy Leary in the late 1950s. Acid, lycosdicergic acid was legal until 1964, if I'm not mistaken. So it was not made illegal until the FDA decided finally to make it illegal. Acid begun to be a real plant. No, acid was actually manufactured by a German scientist in the 1860s, I do recall. Hi, Fox Lisa. Thank you very much. I'm glad you like this shirt, Dean. I ate a lot of LSD, Fear says. How do I think I found you? Sure the hell didn't find it from LSD there, Fear. That's for sure. Any event, let me first, I'm going to talk what Mr. Politi was talking about my book, this book, Ghosts of Cielo Drive. And I'm going to talk about this first, though. When Bill Nelson's cow stopped giving milk, he called the veterinarian. There's something wrong with that cow, the vet said. She's just stubborn. That or some witch got hold of her. Bill and the vet both laughed. That old hag, Edie Fitch, I guess she's the closest we've got to a witch round here, the vet said. But witches have gone out of style, haven't they? Bill had had a run-in with Edie Fitch the month before. He had hit her cat with his car and killed it. I'm really sorry, Edie Fitch, he told her. I'll get you a new cat, just as good. Her eyes filled with hate. I raised that cat from a kitten, she hissed. I loved her. You'll be sorry for this, Bill Nelson. Bill sent her a new cat and heard nothing more. Then his cow stopped giving milk. Next, his old truck broke down. After that, his wife fell and broke her arm. We're having a lot of bad luck, he thought. Then he thought, maybe it's Addie Fish getting even. And then, hey, don't you believe in witches? You're just upset. No, hey, you don't believe in witches. You're just upset. But Bill's grandpa believed in witches. He had once told Bill that there was only one way to stop a witch from causing trouble. You find a black cat, walnut tree, he said, and you draw her picture on it. Then you mark an X where her heart is, and you drive a nail into that X. Every day you drive a little deeper. If she was causing the trouble, he said, she'll feel pain. When she can't stand anymore, she'll come to you or send somebody to try to borrow something. If you give her what she wants, that breaks the power of the nail, and she'll go on tormenting you. But if you don't, she'll have to stop, or the pain will kill her. That was his nice, gentle old grandpa. That's what his nice, gentle old grandpa believed. It's crazy, pure craziness, Bill thought. Of course his grandpa didn't have much schooling. Bill had been to college. He knew better. Then Bill's dog, Joe, died. A perfectly healthy dog dropped dead, just like that. It made Bill angry. Despite all of his schooling, he thought, maybe it's Addie Fitch after all. He got a red crayon from his room and a hammer and a nail and went to the woods. He found a black walnut tree and drew a picture of Addie Fitch on it. He made an X where her heart was, like his grandpa said to do. With a hammer, he drove the nail a little way into the X. Then he went home. I feel like a fool, he told his wife. You should, she said. The next day, the boy named Timmy Logan came by. Addie Fitch isn't feeling well, he said. She wonders if she could borrow some sugar from you. Bill Nelson stared at Tommy in amazement. He took a deep breath. Tell her I'm sorry, but I don't have any sugar right now, he said. When Tommy Logan left, Bill went back to the walnut tree and drove the nail in another inch. The next day the boy came back. Addie Fitch is pretty sick, he said. She's wondering if you got any of her sugar yet. Tell her I'm sorry, Bill Nelson said, but I still don't have any. Bill went out into the woods and drove the nail in another inch. The following day, the boy was back. Addie Fitch is getting sicker, he said. She really needs some sugar. Tell her I still don't have any, Bill answered. Bill's wife was angry. You've got to stop this. If this mumbo-jumbo works, this like murder. I'll stop when she does, he said. Toward dusk, he stood in the yard staring at the ridge where the old lady lived, wondering what was going on up there. Then in half the darkness, he saw Addie Fitch coming slowly down the hill towards him. With her pitched, bony fingers in her black coat, she did look like a witch. After she got closer to Bill, he saw that she could barely walk. Maybe I'm really hurting her, he thought. He ran to get the hammer and pulled the nail out. Before he could leave, Addie Fitch was in his yard. Her face was twisted in rage. First you killed my cat, then you wouldn't give me a bit of sugar when I needed it. She swore at him and fell dead at his feet. I'm not surprised that she dropped dead that way, the doctor said. She was a very old, maybe 90. It was her heart, of course. Some people thought she might be a witch, Bill said. I've learned that, the doctor said. Somebody I know thought Addie Fitch was a witch, had witched him, Bill went on. He drew a picture of her on the tree and drove a nail in to make her stop. That's an old superstition, the doctor said. But people like us don't believe in that sort of thing now, do we? Ooh, that was a good one. I like that one a lot. What do we got going on? People are writing comments and I'm reading. Do you understand what I'm reading? I'm not reading your shit. I'm reading from the book. This book I'm reading, not this. Damn, let's see what the hell we got here. Ah, I ate a lot of LSD. Honey Leary was one of the brought absolute no attention to his discovery. Leary was experimenting it with his friends, and they would drop acid, and they would have parties called the electrocooled acid test. And I forgot the name of the group that traversed the country. Timothy Leary and a bunch of others were dropping acid and driving around in an old school bus that was converted, and they used that to travel the country dropping acid and stuff. If I can die, I will believe. If I die, can I believe? Fear, you're becoming a little, questionable. All these comments from Fear. Yeah, another spammer man got popped and they've got to take him off. He's just commenting and commenting. The Merry Pranksters. That's right. You got it. The Merry Pranksters. Have you seen Jason? Keith, no, I have not seen J.C. bring his apparition since I saw him 21 years ago in 2004. See, when I'm not watching and I'm seeing the spammers, I don't have a chance to get rid of them. But when I saw it, it's like, what the crap is this doing? So like I said, we've got this event in 3 weeks. Should I read an excerpt from my book? All right, now I promised from my friend. This book, that's right, Ghosts of Cielo Drive. I feel like I should bring this closer to me or me closer to you, but in any event, I don't know when Kesh is coming back to the house. Well, acid was started in the 1850s or 1860s. It was discovered. It was synthesized. Thank you, spirits, whoever's up there, by Timothy Leary. In any event, I wrote this book, Ghosts of Cielo Drive, which it's right now in back order. I have to get some more printed copies of it. It was basically because I got tired of hearing stories from people that were non-experts. Even though they claimed to be experts, one in particular, Zach Baggins, claimed that all of Benedict Canyon was a Native American ceremonial burial grounds, which is completely obnoxiously false. That's not true. Benedict Canyon is not and has never been a Native American ceremonial burial grounds ever. And like I said, this book was basically to clear the air, to tell the true story of the paranormal activity that's been going on in this house, the history of the area, to clear up the stories that are being spread like wildfire that are absolutely wrong and inaccurate, and also to settle some scores with people that said certain things that were not true about the house itself, and also to demythologize some of the paranormal occurrences in general, so when you guys see a ghost, you don't have a provocatively obnoxious response, which is saying, oh my God, it's a ghost. I learned this from watching on Ghost Adventures. Oh my God, I'm terrified. I'm crapping in my pants. That's just so bullshit. Ghosts aren't here to hurt you. They're not here to take you to the other side. Well, if you're dying, there might be a spirit visiting you to take you to the other side, but that's because you're dying first, not because the spirit appeared in front of you and said, hi, I'm here. And you were like, oh my God, is it time to go? It's like, time to go where? I'm just here to say hello, to see how you're doing. I'm just paying you a visit. You're one of my favorite people that's still alive where I'm not, so I'm coming to say hello. Is that okay? Can you stop being so dramatic and over the top, stupid and crazy, believing that I'm like, yeah, it's time to go. It's time for you to come with me. But I'm too young. It's like, well, that's tough shit. You're going to die anyways. No, ghosts are not here to take you to the other side. It's not like, come on, join the club, kids. This isn't the Mickey Mouse Club for the dead. They're not, come on, you're coming with us. No, we're going to inhabit your body because you've got a good body, and I'm just dying to get back into the flesh and blood so I can feel pain and all the stuff I suffered with when I was alive, when I was dying. No, I'm not really interested in getting into your body. That's just not how it works. So why is Pocahontas? They're just visitors, exactly, Keith. Thank you for saying that. No, ghosts do not have power over your spirit. That's completely false information. I mean, no, they don't. That's just not how it works. Spirits are not looking for a vessel to live in. Like, for instance, this. Oh, Jesus, I'm so sorry. God, where are you? I'm going to turn the bell on. And now you see the bell is on. I'm going to move my... I'm going to put this right here. So here you go, kids. So the bell is on. I just turned it on. So the spirits are here. Again, 2 for yes. That's 2 rings for yes, 1 for no. Who's cursed? Who's saying they're cursed? What about mirror? What? Do we have another gosh darn spasmatica? Yeah, I think so. Well, they're done now. There goes the quintessential nameless numbnuts that's been removed from the channel tonight. Another spam crown in the can. Marcia, it's okay. I blocked him. He's a spammer. I can read the spam a mile away. I was going to say, if you want, let's see if I can get somebody. Well, let me see something. I know. Excuse me for doing this. I know. All right, let's see if I can call this person up. And this will be a good person to call up. Well, they're supposed to have called me up to let me know what their schedule is, but since they're so bloody busy, I figured let's just do it ourselves and call up. Here we go. This is a treat, kids. This is a treat and a half. You will appreciate this completely if this person answers. Bye, spammer. Fly guy, you're out of here. All right, I'm calling Scott on tape. The hell is he at? He's not answering. No, I hung up. I wasn't going to leave a message. Why bother? I tried. No, I'm not just going to call up Barry Taft. That's okay. They always come back. They always come up with another name to go under. That's why, Marcia, they're over there. So let's read from the good book. Let's read something out of the book, Ghosts of Celia Drive. Why? Because we like to. Let's see, something good. Anything you guys wouldn't have any suggestions unless you read the book. No, not that. How about Jay? Where's Jay? Let's somebody ask about Jay. That's too long for a chapter. But where's Jay? What we got? He's here in California. When did I see Jay? Was it July? I guess it was. Wait. Here we go. From the book, chapter 5. From the book, Ghosts of Celia Drive, chapter 5, page 55. My first experience seeing an apparition was as amazing as it could have been. I must have been ready, as my previous vision of those who had passed were only through the many movies or flashes in my head. It was July 14th, 2004. My mother was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and she was treated with chemotherapy and radiation. She lived a few miles from me. My girlfriend at the time, Felicia, was an airline stewardess with American Airlines, and at this time she was flying the European route for her flights. I was nervous as I was concerned about her well-being and safety flying over Europe at that time. I hadn't spoken to her for a few days, which fueled my anxiety. I got my dogs Sebastian and Stella on my bed, and the other two cats with the two cats too, Tess and Bianca, for comfort. I went to bed for some reason, turned my head to the right, and noted the time. It was at 1:36 a.m. I immediately fell asleep. I woke up with a start and had the feeling that I'd been asleep for hours. Time out. Let me just see this. Oh crap! Another goddamn son of a bitch. Get rid of him. Hello, Justy. Yeah, he's back. The little creepy SOB is back. I knew that. I turned to the clock and it read 1:38 a.m. Only 2 minutes later. While I was trying to register what was happening, my eyes drifted towards the foot of my king-sized bed, and I saw a man standing there, 3 feet from the corner of the bed. He wasn't a human being, but an apparition of one. He seemed to be glowing from the light that emanated from inside of him. The rest of the room was dark, and not one of the dogs or cats awoke to see what I was witnessing. It was surprising to say the least, but I was calm inside and recalled what my godfather had told me years ago about his experience with a pair of apparitions. He told me that in 1976, when he lived in the house next door to my parents' home on Linda Flora Drive, he was in his bedroom in the middle of the night, sound asleep, when he was awoken by what he described as an amorphic entity, as amorphic entities, not discernible as people, but more like two blobs of energy or light in the middle of the dark room. This guy's back again. God, they just can't quit. One was about 4 feet tall and at the bottom part, and kind of a foot wide on the top, with another foot wide with another rounded ball type part on what you would have described as his shoulders. The other was more squashed down, 3 feet in diameter, with a more rounded part on the shoulder area. They were just hovering in front of the bed, and he heard a voice say, "Your Aunt Sonia has died." He said these two apparitions vanished. The next morning at 8 o'clock, his cousin called him, and before she could say a word, he said, "Aunt Sonia's dead." His cousin asked him, "How did you know?" "I was just about to tell you that." So I moved. No, he was not. He was dressed in a suit. Yeah, spam away. He then remembered what had happened in the middle of the night, and told her about what he saw. When I saw the apparition standing in front of me, it was much clearer than what my godfather, had described. This was a whole person, though, not a corporeal. I could see the details. The spirit, as I called it, was about 5'9", clearly male, and it was dressed in a single-breasted suit with short lapels similar to the style of the suits in the late 60s. It appeared dark gray with a solid darker blue-gray tie, and it paired with a light blue-gray shirt. His skin was also light gray, and so his hair was parted to the left, but it wasn't short or long, but medium length, and coarse, not smooth or straight at all. Although I memorized his features, I didn't recognize him. My first thought was to ask if it was about my mom. Is she okay? Is this about Felicia? Is she okay? The man was not speaking to me. He simply stood with his left arm extended and his left hand outreached, pointing with his index finger and turning towards the left, with his torso not moving from the waist down. He made a quarter turn towards the wall, pointing to the outside. I didn't know what to make of it. He just turned towards the wall and did this 3 times and then vanished. I got up and I spent the next hour walking around upstairs, worried that the following morning I was going to get a call telling me that my mom had died, or a message from one of Felicia's friends telling me that something had happened to her during her trip over Europe. My only frame of reference for this visit was the other side was as a warning. I didn't think it could be to do something to help. I didn't think it could be to do something to help the spirit himself. I finally decided that I had to go back to sleep and wait for the morning to find out. At 8 o'clock, I got right up and called my parents. My dad answered and I asked if Mom was okay. He said, yeah, she's right here next to me. I spoke with her and I spoke to her and was relieved. I didn't bother to tell her about the apparition because she didn't believe in ghosts. That he was killed. All right, Kim, he was killed in striped pants. I did not see Jay Sebring in the clothes that he died in, which goes back to the full of shit stories that people come up with this myth that be careful what you wear when you leave the house, because if you die, that'll be the outfit you'll be wearing for eternity. That is 100% bunk, nonsense, myth, human ego speak. It is a false narrative. It is not true in the faintest or foggiest lands. That's just not true. That's not how it works. Because when I found out it was Jay Sebring with his natural hairstyle, that's when I realized that he wasn't dressed in what he was killed in. Otherwise, I would have recognized him. Yes, he was his natural hairstyle. No, Kim, it's okay, but it's just, like I said in the book, I describe debunk some of these myths that we have about the spirits and what they're wearing when you die. It's just, here's an example. What if you died in a tuna canning factory and you were canned and processed in tuna? Are you going to come back as a case of star-kissed tuna in cans, floating, an ethereal image of some star-kissed cans, and you have to open it up so you can talk out of it? I mean, come on, it's just complete nonsense. Respectfully wore his funeral garb. We don't know what he was buried in. That's the thing. We don't know what he was buried in, so it's kind of hard to be able to say that. It's just, it might not have been what he was buried in. And furthermore, it doesn't make any sense. Why would he be buried in what he was buried? Why would he come back as a spirit wearing what he wore when he was buried? It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. Where were we on this? I spoke with her about concerned about Felicia and her well-being. 2 days later, I got a call from her from England, and she was fine, and she was on her way back to the States. A few months later, I was doing some research into the murders that took place down the street, and I decided to investigate to see what, if anything, could be found at the LAPD archives regarding the murders and my property. I made some inroads at the LAPD and explained that I was writing a book on my experiences here at the house on Cielo Drive Private, and wanted to see if there was anything that they had in the photo archives that might show something that was left on the side of the hill after the murders. I was given permission to come and review the photos under their supervision, and I found it. And if I found anything I was of interest, I would have to submit it to them for review and then wait and see if I was able to get it released. That was the pictures. I love you very much. Thank you. Giusto nome. Bonsoir. Bonsoir. Grazie. Merci beaucoup. because sometimes our soul passes away when murdered. But you say they don't like the grave to stay. All right. First, Marsha, I didn't say anything about the grave to stay. The body goes into the grave. The soul in the spirit is no longer, and from what I understand, is long since departed from the body. So the body goes here and the soul goes here. So look, the body's here and here's the soul. So this is what happens when you die. Soul goes up, body goes wherever it's going to go on its path to finally get into the ground. The idea that you're going to be wearing what you're wearing when you're in the ground, that's put on long after you are dead. You are dressed in your clothes that you are buried in as a corpse, not as a spirit when you're alive in the body, but after you die. So the idea that there's any connection between A and B is completely wrong. He came back in what he wanted to come back in, but he certainly is not going to be coming back looking like he did when he died, because he didn't. He looked 100% fine. So the idea is once you die, your spirit goes here and your body goes on its travels. So each one goes on separate paths. Spirit goes on its route and the body goes well into the ground and it's buried. So there's no connection. Keith Sharp, I would hate to think to live that horrible night. Perhaps it's residual. All right, Keith, let's just, from my experiences, this idea of residual energy is just mumbo jumbo bullshit rationalization and theoretical nonsense by human beings. As I like to call it, it's ego speak. I don't believe in this residual energy stuff and they're just going in a broken, they're just doing the same thing over and over again. That's bullshit. I don't buy that one either. I think it's just another rationalization of human beings and their attempt to try to understand the unknown, and they are wrong. That's my personal belief about it. He wasn't asking for help. He was pointing towards the property next door 8 years before it was constructed. He wasn't pointing towards the driveway. He was pointing just towards that double lot that's next door to me that they built the mega mansion on 8 years before the construction began. More like spirits know what's going to happen in the future because we're just going through the motions. As Shakespeare said, we are all but actors upon a stage, making our entrances and our exits in due time. That's it, baby. That's the only thing that can be explained. That means a lot of the myths of the paranormal, I spend a whole chapter in this book about debunking them, is the truth is we don't know. And this idea that residuals, like you can cling on to anything and believe what you will, but that does not make it real, doesn't make it accurate, and it does not make it factually based on experiences. It's what people have tried to explain away what's going on and make these reasons of, well, this is what we would do if you're human. They aren't human. They're not bound by the human gosh darn restrictions of being able to like this. I can't do this, but a spirit can go right through this gosh darn marble or this granite to the other side and do whatever he wants because he is spirit. They are removed from the confines of human existence in all manners. You said spirits do not want to see themselves in the graveyard. I said, Marcia, that spirits aren't sitting there looking over their decomposing bones in the grave is what I said. I didn't say they don't want to go. I said, what point and what purpose does a spirit have to be going to a graveyard so it can look at the other corpses being mollified and turning into spew and gunk and rotting in the ground? That's what I said. You misinterpreted what I said. I haven't seen Jeff in a while. Not psychic residue. That's just nonsensical. It's just ego speak. Because we don't know what's going on. We have to. They're reliving the actions of their life. The last moments of their death. Bullshit. God, it's such nonsense. Doesn't it sound stupid to think that they're doing this on a merry-go-round and they're going around in circles doing the same shit over and over again because human beings think that's what they're doing? No, it's not the way it is. I'm still saying myself. It just isn't. The 20th anniversary. That would have been 1989. You were here in 89? I was here with you. Yeah, 69, 79, 89. I was here at 79 myself, but after that time, Sharon passed away. No, it's not the ideas. They're speculative theories is what we're talking about. It's all speculation. There's no proof to anything. Just because you see something and they're doing the Gettysburg Memorial I've heard of, where they see the soldiers are doing their things. It goes, maybe, maybe not. You don't know what they're doing. They could be living and existing in a time period of their own choice, and that's what they're doing. Is they're living in the 1860s still, even though they're dead. Their spirits are reliving, are doing that stuff. I don't mean they're living at all, but definitely mean they're. No, I don't believe that either. That thing of like this residual energy. No. It's like, it's the same BS that we're talking about. Ancient aliens came and visited ancient man and they helped them do this and this. And it's like, gee, so you're taking away the fact that ancient man was as smart as we are today and had different technology than we have. And therefore you can't accept it. So you're going to go to the lowest common denominator, just saying it was an external force from the stars that came here and helped them. It's like, no. And this is why I say that as far as ancient aliens are concerned. They were still 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 years ago, back then, that many years ago, ancient aliens were still 100,000 times smarter and well beyond where we are on the planet Earth. So again, I'll say this to you. What interest do you ever have when you, in your day-to-day life, do you think about an amoeba? Single cell animal, it's about microscopic, etc. You don't think about them, right? That's the analogy I use when I talk about ancient aliens and alien life forms. They are so far advanced that even the comparison between a human being and an amoeba is here. Here's where the human being and the ancient alien are. They're that much farther removed. They have no purpose. They don't care. The minerals, they're after the gold on this planet. Got big bad news for you. Every single known, mineral that exists on this planet exists in the solar system in vast quantities on other planets that are far superior and richer and less of a headache for these alien life forms to have to be dealing with. So the idea they're mining these natural earth minerals and resources, it's like, are you kidding me? There's probably more gold on the on the moon, and other planets have that and have different things. We just, haven't figured out how to mine them. Otherwise, the price of gold would drop to the 0 point. What I mean is we all speak in the sense that we're so special. We're human beings. We live on this special planet. That's called human egocentricity. Something akin to what the church believed in the 14th century, where they said that the earth was the center of the universe. Ever hear that thing about how the Catholic Church kept saying, the earth is the center of the universe, we're all important? The fact is, we're not. There are other planets out there that have other life forms that are well beyond ours in other solar systems, and we're just a youngster in the planetary scheme of things. So when you're talking about ghosts and making all these high attributed points of reference about ghosts can do this, they can't do that, the rock salt, perimeter around you will keep a ghost away. Ghosts don't have a kryptonite. They don't. I don't care how many times you want to watch Ghost, what's it called? Ghostbusters Afterlife, whatever, and all this and that. It's pure speculative, and at best, it's entertainment. I'm sorry, I stopped watching Ghostbusters after the second one. I got bored. So let me just see what we got going here. Smoke Breck. How nice. You're out of here. Yeah, you're boring, saying, who the fuck asked you, as the old saying goes. Get lost. Marcia, we don't know. That's the thing. Human beings have a desire to have to quantify, qualify, and understand everything under the sun. and to make themselves feel good about it. When we don't know something, we get scared to death and we are terrified because the unknown is scary. That's as easy an explanation of why we have that. If you were there, Kim, you were there before it was torn down because it was still there. Well, before, yeah, of course, obviously, 10 years before we bought the lot, exactly. Pretty much, Danielle. It's the problem is that humans have this thing of we're the best, we're the top of the food chain. It's like I got news for you. If aliens were coming here and they wanted to do anything, they could do it like that, like that, like that. Hellcat Stone's top disciple. Hi, Dave. Hey, Marcia. Hi, Maria. I was just reading. There's zero proof of aliens to begin with. Not sure what you're going to. Main tingles. If you are so gosh darn full of hubris and full of irritable human ego, and you don't think aliens exist, you are beyond repair in all senses of the word. There's nothing in the world that doesn't. Look, they're aliens. The point is the aliens exist because there's billions of galaxies with solar systems in them, just like ours. And to think that there is an alien life form that's out there on other planets, that we're so special. Talk to Jesus when you pass away and you figure that out, because you are well beyond repair. There's plenty of proof that they exist in other parts of the solar system and other parts of the universe, meaning this is our solar system. There's multitudes of solar systems out there. We're just one of many. And to think that there isn't other life forms out there is pretty egocentric. I'm sorry to break it to you. The same point with what we know about spirits. We don't. We speculate. But there's one thing, as my father said, it's the odds are completely against us, to those to believe that we are the only pieces of intelligent life forms in the universe. We are but one. And I'm not saying like Star Trek, but think about it just for a second. You have one solar system and there's billions of stars out there. Each star is just like our sun. It exists and there's planets revolving around and rotating around those suns. So there's lots of proof and possibility and potential that there are intelligent life forms well beyond this earth. Oh, another schmuck. Good God. Troll 2? Yeah, you're trolled out of here, shithead. Oh boy, Maine, give me a break, sweetheart. You just speak in your egocentricity thoughts that you want, but that doesn't mean you're right. There's not proof. There are radio signals from across the galaxy and the solar systems that are out there, and the galaxies that are out there. Yes, there's some proof. And it's obvious. Again, if you want to believe that you're the special one on this planet and that we're special on this planet, you really are special, but not in the way you think. You really take the cake for hubris and egocentricity, because it's no chance that there isn't other life forms across the galaxies and across the solar systems that exist out there. We are not special. That's just a simple fact. Anyone with half an intelligent thought would say, you know, you're right. Why? Why? Because I'm not. Thank you. I'm not going to get into it, but let's just say it takes a real genius to come up with the idea that we're the only ones in the universe and the solar systems out there, and the galaxies that are out there. That is the one living coefficient of life forms that exist. I mean, that's just funny. We're not the only ones in the universe. It's impossible. The pyramid, You funny tingles. You come up with something about saying that, what does he say? He says, it's not ego, man. I'm just saying, if you come up with a proof, I can't prove that there's air because I can't see it, right? But there is such thing as air. There's oxygen and other different gases that form this environment that we breathe in. I can't see it. I can't prove it's there, but I can hypothesize that it's there. Ay, boy, there's no point in talking. When you want to sit there and you want to say things that just, yes, it is ego. It's all ego because it's all about yours saying that we are the center of the universe, known and otherwise unknown. Do you know how stupid that sounds? That's just so funny to make the statement of it. Yes, it's completely egocentric. You sound like the church in the 14th century. We are the center of the universe. Everything revolves around us. No. That is not how it works. And there's proof. There's plenty of radio signals that have been transmissions that have been found in the universe that are not man-made from this planet. No, Keith, if aliens exist, they'd steer clear of our planet because we're still playing with fusion, nuclear power. They are so well beyond that. There's like, what are you going to look at the humans for? Going to go look at this, or I'd rather go to the zoo, they would say, than come to look at this planet. Marcia, let me ask you a question. Do you know how much oxygen is in the air that you breathe right now? Any ideas? Less than 10% of the air you breathe is oxygen to start with. I saw something in the sky. Well, we're not alone, but they're not coming here to pay us any visit because we're a speck of dust where they are so far beyond where we are. It's incomprehensible for people to understand why they don't want to be bothered with us. Maine, there's plenty of proof that there are radio signals that are transmissions that are not coming from the Earth. Do you want any more proof? Do you want to go find that little silver thread so you can hang your hat on and say it's real? Hey, why would you have all of these ridiculous truth or spoof? If you don't like the dress settings, no one has a gun to your head making you watch. So you don't have to watch. You don't like the dress settings, don't bother commenting on it. And they're not ridiculous, friend. Nice hair. Keep it up. You're pushing for a nice bounce in the leftist. We've been on for, an hour and 15 minutes. Son of a bitch, hour and 13 minutes I've been on for. But like I was saying, oh well, just popped another zit. Oh, that's so much better now. God, it feels good to get that out of there, doesn't it? In any event, we're going to close this session up. And let me just say, if you want to come out and see the house, come out on the 7th and 8th of March to the link in the body of the description of tonight's show. I'm sorry we got so off topic. I'm sorry I got so off topic into the aliens thing, but I was just saying, the idea that we think we know everything, it's kind of crazy. Tingle. Goodbye. Hey, Joy. Yeah, you're late. Your bell's here. It's only gone off once today. No, I don't really drink really at all. I'm not inebriated. The fact that this guy has a problem with accepting the obvious, the statistics, the impossibility that there's not a single iota of possibility that life doesn't exist in other suns, in other planets, in other parts of the galaxy and the universe. It's just beyond repair. When people want to make that statement, I go, what? I didn't say they're visiting here. I said they're out there, and it's obvious there's just too many gosh darn stars in the sky. And when you start to realize that we're seeing a small portion of the stars in the sky, that each one of those stars is in our solar system, and there's far greater solar systems beyond our own, that it's obvious that we are not so special as we wish to believe. That is just a religion. See, what happens is when you start to make those statements, it rocks the foundation of their religiosity, because it makes no sense to them. Because where does Jesus fit into all this? And where does God fit into all this? And it's like, ain't that a question you're just going to have to figure out on your own? Because there's a lot more to this goddamn universe and this world and the planets and the solar systems that are out there and the galaxies that are out there and the nebulas that is far beyond their comprehension. And it challenges people, and it makes them feel uncertain, insecure, and very much makes them feel like, I'm scared. I've been taught all this stuff, and it's questioning the authority that I've been taught under, and that's the truth. That's why I said this ghosts idea that they do exist. Yeah, but the idea that we've come up with the answers to them and what they do and there's just theories. It's just nonsensical theories of why they're coming back and this and that. And I'll be the first to say, I don't have any answers to those questions. I can't tell you why spirits do what they do and why they know what they know and why they dress the way they dress and why they do what they do. But I sure as hell can tell you some of the things we've been taught are fear-based nonsense about the paranormal. And most of the time, as I've said before, it's what we see in our mind's eye, not the actual incident that takes place, but how we process that incident in our heads and the experiences therein. That leads people to kind of like, oh, I'm scared. It's like the ghost was going like this, waving, and you're having a meltdown. It's more about your perception of what the incident was and took place versus what their intention was. And that's where we're going to end this thing. No, they're not over the bell. They love the bell. Last time I was going crazy. Yes, I read tonight, Movie Star. When you're small and the world is huge. Well, the universe is huge. It is a little bit shallow. Thanks very much, Kim. I appreciate that. No, I don't hear them in my mind. I see them. I've seen them. I've heard them speak out loud. Lots of times we have video stuff where people have heard voices here. Joey and Joy have been here and have seen stuff and heard stuff, and it's as clear as a bell. Not to mention, with all the cameras in the house, we've recorded on numerous occasions voices speaking, and it's like, who the hell is that? Because it's just me and a friend, and I'm going, you and I were talking on the balcony, and that came from inside the house. And it's just like, they go, oh my God. And then we watch the footage, and they're going, oh my God, I heard that. I heard that. I really heard that. Oh my God, I can't believe I heard that. And I know it's just you and I, because the cats can't talk and the dog can't talk. So what the hell, man? It's not bravery. It's just common sense. Yes, Marcia. Yes, I've seen them. I've heard my son since he passed. Oh, I'm so sorry, Movie Star. I'm so sorry for your loss. In any event, I was only going to go on for an hour. But like I said, it's how you react and respond to the situation that causes an easier way through the situation for you, the person who's involved, and also a happier end result in your brain, because you don't have a complete meltdown at the fact that you just heard or saw an apparition. And what's funny is a lot of people have told me after watching these live videos, when they're watching it in review, they'll say, I heard somebody whispering, or I heard somebody talking in the background. And they write down the time, and I'm like, oh wow, that's how you know it. Because I might not hear it during our live video right now, yet in review, you'll hear voices or footsteps or sounds or whistling or something, and it's just plain and simple. I didn't hear it with the naked ear, or correction. It could have been that I was more involved in this conversation I'm having with you guys live and not paying attention to the disembodied spirits talking. But the fact is that on a lot of occasions, people say, oh, I heard this man whistling or somebody talking in the background. I'm like, and I look at them and go, yeah, that's them. Yeah, there's no reason to freak out. They're here to say hello. I hear things in your live, but not other places. Well, Marcia, that's because I have a lot of. I'm not going to say it. Close. I thought it. I thought it, but I didn't say it. I have a lot of loudmouth spirits here. I was going to say rude and obnoxious spirits that like to chime in of their own, but I thought that was a little bit harsh to say and actually mean it. But no, they're letting themselves be recorded. Obviously, I'm not pulling any strings. I'm not pulling any wires and making stuff happen. If it happens, it happens. I heard that. I have no control over the situation. I'm not pressing buttons and not, manipulating the activity in the house. When it happens, it's on their time when they want to. I have zero involvement in letting them or making them do what they want to do. It's entirely a free world, and I let them do what they want. Usually I really think they're just another dimension, possibly. I just lost the legendary lead. Kim, what do you mean you just lost the legendary lead guitar? Yeah, whispers. That's Danielle. That's what it is. They're whispery voices that come in. And I'm like, one. And then I write down the time and I say, in this room, I heard this. And then I review the footage and it's kind of like one. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. So again, it's been an hour and 22 minutes. I want to wish you guys all a very happy, wet, day before Thanksgiving, day before Valentine's night. Hopefully we'll get Scott's ass over here in the next couple of days and we'll do a live stream with Scott on tape and a few other guests. Again, just like with the spirits, I don't know nothing. They do what they want to do, just like Scott decides when he wants to call, and if he wants to show up since he's in LA, it's up to him. Yeah, rewatch, you might find some interesting stuff. And again, March 7th, March 8th, Friday and Saturday nights, American Ghost Walks is having their ghost investigation tour here. On those 2 nights, go to the link in the body of the text, in the description, and click on it and get yourself a ticket or two. Grab some friends. I'm telling you, the place is actually jumping crazy with activity. The tea. I keep on hearing something like knocking and bouncing and banging, but I got Domino there on the chair sleeping. I got Reggie here tied up. I got Samantha here, and that's it. This is the whole entire house. Living beings, I mean, obviously. So they're not making any stuff happen. Great show. Well, I'm glad you like it, Keith. It was an interesting, fun night. I don't really talk about the ancient aliens at all. I just can't stand turning on the History Channel. What is it on? Friday nights, Sunday nights, Monday nights. And that's all you got. Then you got the Curse of Oak Island. They never find anything. What a surprise. God, what a way to keep a long joke running forever, though. I bet with the rain, it's off the charts. No, it's not really, I thought about sometimes the spirits make themselves present when it's raining, and it almost seems like they're quiet. Well, I say that, I'll get off and it's like, hi, Dad, there's a party going on here. And I'm going, Why weren't you guys so active when I was on the show? We didn't want to disturb you while you were on your live feed. We don't want to stream and be pigs. It's like, well, thanks. I'd appreciate if you would show up for the live feeds because it's better when you're here than if you're not. And we're live. The audience wants to hear you. So please, spirits, if you have anything to say, please say something. Let us know you're here. Ring the bell, for God's sakes. Come on. Very funny movie star. I'm glad you like it. Anyways, it's right now 1:25:09. All right. They said no, LOL. Yes. Thank you, Lilith. I appreciate that. Yes. Anyways, have a very good evening. Have a very fun Valentine's Day tomorrow. And just be kind to one another. What else can I say? It's Valentine's Day. Some people are going through a rough patch. Not everybody's got a Valentine. So, and my mom would say, enjoy it in your own way. Keep it to yourself, but don't sit there and showboat it around like everybody should know this. Because a lot of people don't. It doesn't make other people feel great that, that it's being shoved in their face. So, in any event, make empathy great again. Yes, I agree with you on that one. It's true, and especially with the way things are. Not everybody has, got a significant other. But in any event, by the way, go to House at the End of the Drive. Where the hell is this? Not this one. Where's this? Go here to this. That's right. House at the End of the Drive.com. Rent the movie. I want to see this movie blow up because I'm sick and tired of watching old movies from 20, 25 years ago being remade for the second and third time. It's enough. So I'm going to hold this up to you guys up close. I want you guys to basically adhere to this and do this for me. That's right. For me, I want you to do this. I'm going to make sure I can see this too so I can see exactly how this is coming across. So subscribe to this channel. You understand, subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can do that, can't you? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can do that. Go to that's right, you can see these channels. But most importantly, go here. Go to houseattheendofthedrive.com. Rent the movie. Tell your friends to rent the movie. That's right, rent this movie. It's $3.99 to 3 days rental. And share it with your friends and have them share it with their friends and share the hell out of it. I'd appreciate it tremendously. And so would the ghosts. So remember, houseattheendofthedrive.com, rent the movie. The link is right there on the top of the page. You can't miss it. It says rent the movie there. That's right, rent this movie here. That's my plug for my movie because I want it to blow up. Now, that said, I'm out of here. Thank you very much. Have a very good weekend. Happy Valentine's Day.